Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Oklahoma Venture Forum podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Golding. I'm joined today by Bray Haven, the Executive Vice President of Cattlemen's Congress. We're going to learn all about what that is today and why the Cattlemen's Congress is the 2023 Economic Impact Award winner from the Oklahoma Venture Forum. Thank you for being on the podcast today, Bray.
You bet. Happy to be here.
For people who are maybe not cattlemen, there's a lot of them in the state, but a lot of people who don't know the cattle industry. Explain what Cattlemen's Congress is.
So Cattlemen's Congress is an opportunity for seed stock or purebred beef producers from across the country and really all of North America, an opportunity to come and market and show and compete their genetics against people from all over North America. They bring their cattle in here, judges evaluate them, tell us which ones are the best, and those folks go out and try to sell those cattle. And so everything from the competition to the selling of those cattle, genetics, to people from all over the world. It's really the interchange of cattle genetics for North America.
So Oklahomans are pretty familiar with cattle shows and sales happening at the fairgrounds on a regular basis, but this is a little bit different, a little bit bigger, not just a week, it's 2 weeks, almost 16 days at the total that people are on the fairgrounds. So what's a little bit different and more interesting and more economically impactful about Cattlemen's Congress?
So the Cattlemen's Congress is unique. It's like I mentioned before, it literally brings producers from all over North America. In this past show, we had producers from 44 states, Canada and Mexico, right here in Oklahoma City, exhibiting their cattle and trying to sell their genetics to other producers across the country that are here doing the same thing they are. And so they're figuring out which types of cattle would breed well with their cattle so that they could maybe take some maybe a new bull home or a new heifer home and put those genetics into their herd. And so really what makes us different and sets us apart is we're right in the heart of cattle country. Oklahoma City is the perfect venue, the perfect geographical location for people from all over the North America, really. Right. If you think about our intersection of I-40 and I-35, the ease of the fairgrounds, getting to the fairgrounds from those interstates. The region that we're in has a lot of cattle in it anyway, Oklahoma, Kansas, Texas, Arkansas, even into Colorado, New Mexico.
Right.
So the states that surround us have a lot of cattle producers as well, and so it just makes it for really probably the largest cattle show in North America.
And the fairgrounds themselves they've been upgrading over the last few years, but have definitely kind of stepped up to be a great home for the Cattlemen's Congress right here in the middle of the country.
No doubt. When people think about OKC Fairgrounds, livestock and horse shows come to mind to them.
Right, for sure.
We host our team actually hosts the Oklahoma Youth Expo as well, and so folks might be familiar with the Oklahoma Youth Expo and what that impact has on youth. But so we were already kind of set up to take on Cattlemen's Congress, and so in 2020. Obviously, we had COVID, we had shutdowns across the country. Some of the big cattle shows across the country weren't going to happen in early 2021, and we had the facility, we had state and city leadership. Our governor was very supportive of recruiting business and events like this to the state during that time, and so really in the fall of 2020. A group of people, including Mr. Bob Funk, Gerald Callahan with Express Ranches, Mr. Jimmy Harrell, Bank of Western Oklahoma, Tyler Norvell, those folks had a vision to, hey, these things aren't happening, whether it was at Fort Worth or in Denver, Colorado. If we have an opportunity here, let's provide the venue to do it. And that's Cattlemen's Congress was born in the fall of 2020, and our first show happened in early 2021.
An opportunity arose. Some smart people came together to solve the problem that this didn't exist. And then it's a public-private partnership working with the state. I'm sure the city of Oklahoma City was involved as well. And then this group of private individuals to make this happen. So one of the best examples of economic development that the city was doing previously with the fairgrounds itself and with whatever the governor and the city was able to do to help make this happen. And then, of course, those invested individuals who put their business prowess behind it at the same time, because those were all names I'm sure all of you have heard at least a few of those names in business circles previously.
Yeah, it's really really incredible that we were able to do it that quick.
Right.
Oklahoma City, the Oklahoma City Chamber, the folks that helped us recruit some of the breed associations and the people that are involved in producing cattle here in Oklahoma that were quick to say, yes, we'll be there. Those people really made this event possible. A lot of people don't realize how full OKC Fairgrounds is throughout the year.
Right.
And so it would just so happen that the first 2 weeks in January were already open. And so we've secured those long term as well to continue hosting the Cattlemen's Congress here in Oklahoma City.
So we understand what the Cattlemen's Congress is and how it came about. Let's talk about economic impact. After all, you are the Economic Impact Award winner from the Oklahoma Adventure Forum for 2023. Obviously, people that have heard from a long time that cattle shows and sales that happen at the fairgrounds have a positive economic impact for the local community. But this is, we've already said, a little bit different, a little bit bigger show. So what are some of the impacts, the economic impacts that are coming directly from Cattlemen's Congress?
Yeah, and as I mentioned before, folks from 44 states, we've had over 10,000 entries. That's almost 10,000 head of cattle on the grounds, and people are bringing those from every corner of the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. And so when those people load up cattle and all the equipment that it takes to get set up to display those cattle and to market and sell those cattle here, they don't really. They're not staying in RVs, they're staying in the hotels here in Oklahoma City, and the hotels and the restaurants here in Oklahoma City were just ecstatic when we first came to town. They were super excited about this event going on. When you've got tens of thousands of people bringing that many cattle into town and staying for the duration that we talked about.
Right.
The event goes on for 16, 17 days.
Yeah.
They're spending money here. They're spending money with retail outlets. They're spending money at restaurants. They're spending money in the hotels. And our folks are virtually creating their own economic boom for downtown Oklahoma City and the surrounding areas even as well. And so one thing about having 10,000 head of cattle on the fairgrounds in Oklahoma City, you can't host them all at one time. And so some of them are in and out.
Okay.
We some of the surrounding towns around Oklahoma City help lay those cattle over. I know several of them have used some of the county facilities just right here around Oklahoma City to bring those cattle in, get them filled back up from a long car ride and that kind of thing before they even bring them on the grounds here in Oklahoma City.
There's a lot of logistics to managing cattle.
They're spending a lot of time in Oklahoma, even maybe before the show even starts, just to try to
from
get
all directions, right? North, south, east, and west.
Absolutely, all corners of the U.S. I know for a fact that we've had exhibitors from California to Washington to Florida to Maine to Maryland and everywhere in between.
Wow.
And so you think about how those people are getting here. They've got to get here in time to, get those, like I mentioned, get those cattle filled back up,
right?
And then spend some money in town.
Yeah.
So they're really utilizing our retail outlets, our hotels, and our restaurants, and quite frankly, they tell us they love it.
And there's an educational component, and this is an industry that families participate. This isn't something where just one person's taking a few head of cattle down. Whole businesses, whole organizations, whole families are coming and staying sometimes for the entire time, sometimes partially, and buying food, fuel, and everything else that goes with being in a place for that period of time.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, if you think this is, as you mentioned, this is entire families that are traveling, not just families, but they're hired folks.
It takes a lot of people to manage that many cattle. It takes a lot
of people to manage that many cattle. And, everything from people that just, that fit them, that clip their hair and make them look pretty for show ring to, the people that help feed and get them ready and things like that. And so it's a team event. And these people are truly invested, and their livelihood depends on marketing those genetics.
Right.
And they're telling us they love Oklahoma City.
It's a huge impact to the beef industry, the cattle industry, it all is kind of coming from things like this, right?
Right. And so really and truly our interaction as Cattlemen's Congress staff is with the breed associations. So we've had over 20 different breeds of cattle that exhibit during Cattlemen's Congress. And so those breed associations bring their staffs in. They have conventions and meetings at different places around Oklahoma City. They're going to dinner every night. All of those things play into what we've got
Eating a lot of
going on.
beef, right?
Eating a lot of beef,
steaks and
that's
burgers, right?
That's right. And we've got a lot of great new steakhouses in Oklahoma City too.
Right.
But one thing I think that is also really cool just about Cattlemen's Congress, I mentioned all those breeds that come in. Most of them host a sale as well. And so even people that aren't exhibiting cattle that are interacting with the beef industry are coming from around the region to come purchase these cattle, and then they take them home. And so we're bringing in more people than just the people that are exhibiting and selling cattle, because you got to have buyers too. So we're attracting buyers from the region as well, and international buyers as well. Just this past year, whether it's just genetics or actual physical cattle, they're going all over the world.
Now, I've seen in some cases people estimate the cascade effect of the economic impact for the state to be not in millions of dollars, but maybe billions of dollars.
For Cattlemen's Congress and the events that go on at the fairgrounds, I would say that we would rival any event that goes on at the OKC fairgrounds. We of our 16, 17 days, you can use a lot of different economic impact numbers, formulas, things like that. We estimate that we've got about a $40 million economic impact.
Okay.
But I can tell you for a fact that in those 15, 16 days this past year, we sold $10 million worth of cattle on the OKC fairgrounds and the surrounding venues that hosted some sales. And so those kind of dollars crossing hands is pretty significant, and you're not having that many dollars cross hands if you don't have some economic impact surrounding it.
That's for sure. You already have the date scheduled for the end of December 23, the beginning of January 2024. So it's not just a single impact, it's every year, right? So the next year's show is already scheduled. You're looking forward to the future. What is going to come next in the next 2, 3, 5, 10, 20 years, hopefully, of Cattlemen's Congress here in Oklahoma City?
Cattlemen's Congress isn't going anywhere.
There you go.
Our exhibitors, the people, the breed associations, the people that we work with to host Cattlemen's Congress, they love Oklahoma City. They love the ease, the proximity of the restaurants and hotels, the ease of traveling from those hotels to the fairgrounds, the accessibility that OKC Fairgrounds has. As you mentioned earlier, OKC Fairgrounds is making huge improvements to their facilities and really including us in that process to make sure that what they're doing isn't just good for horse shows, but it's good for livestock as well, for cattle. And so we've got great partners in OKC Fairgrounds, the Oklahoma City Chamber, all the people that make that facility what it is. And so all of our partners are invested in making sure that Cattlemen's Congress is successful into the future. We're looking at some things as far as making our schedule more efficient, trying to keep those people and attract them into our trade show. And I think the new Coliseum on the fairgrounds will allow for endless opportunities for us to expand and grow the visitors, not just the exhibitors, but the visitors and the buyers' experience as well.
That, folks, is why Cattlemen's Congress is the Oklahoma Venture Forum Economic Impact Award winner for 2023. We're so happy that this show is happening and sales happening here in Oklahoma City. For those of you who want to know more about the Economic Impact Award winner and all of our award winners for the OVF Awards ceremony, that is going to happen on Thursday, May 18th. It's important. Thursday is important. Our typical meetings are Wednesday. This one is on a Thursday, May 18th, 11 to 1:30, Oklahoma History Center. Get your tickets now. As you can tell from the level of award winners we have, like the Economic Award winner with the Cattlemen's Congress and all the other awards that are going to come along on that date as well. Some of the past award winners, some of the people that you're going to be associated with this award. OMRF, of course, do amazing things in the medical field. The Oklahoma City Thunder, we've all heard of them, right? Love's Travel Stop and Country Stores. We've all filled up our trucks at Love's, and the Chickasaw Nation are just some of the few previous award winners that Cattlemen's Congress will be associated with in the future after winning the 2023 year Economic Impact Award. So thank you so much, Bray, for having a conversation with me today, educating me and everyone else about what Cattlemen's Congress is and the full economic impact of this show and sale.
Thank you for having us.